I don't think a lot of people know what true strength is about. I don't know if a lot of people know what you went through. I mean, I know it was in the press a little bit, but I mean, you haven't made a huge deal out of it. Why don't you explain what happened to you, where you had this moment where an illness affected you? Because this is a book that just isn't about your life. This is a book about how to overcome obstacles in your life, especially health obstacles.
Well, I was at the end of, coming in the last 3 months of season 5 on Hercules. My arm was starting to kill me. My left shoulder was throbbing. I couldn't figure what was going on. My 3 fingers on my left hand, from my middle finger over to my pinky, were getting numb, and they were cold. It's like there was no circulation going on. I couldn't figure what was going on. I blew it off, though. I just figured, I was doing most of my stunts because I was an idiot and thought I could do them all. My ego said do them. And, quite frankly, I enjoyed it. It was fun. I had great stunt guys I worked with. And I got back to L.A. I was going to start a movie in Atlanta. I had a 3-month hiatus. And I went to see my doctor, and he found a lump in my left shoulder. And he said, I want to get a biopsy on this thing. And that kind of freaked me out. I went to Gold's Gym to work out, and I couldn't lift nothing. The pain had gotten so bad. My left arm was I couldn't pick up 10 pounds off the rack. So I went to see my chiropractor. In the 8 years I've gone to this guy, he's never, ever cracked my neck because I don't like my neck cracked. Well, I'm laying there on the table, and I heard a voice twice say, don't let him crack your neck. I mean, twice, don't let him crack your neck. And I thought, why am I hearing this voice? He never cracks my neck. He cracks my neck. As I'm sitting on the table thinking about it, within minutes, I suffered 3 strokes. And what happened was that lump in that left shoulder was an aneurysm that had been throwing off clots for months, but now it had opened up completely, sent hundreds of clots into my arm. And 3 of the clots, unfortunately, went into my brain. I was rushed to the hospital. And the 3 strokes, I had 2 strokes went to my balance center, and 1 went to my vision. I spent the next 4 months in rehab, learning to walk again, let alone try to even run, and returned to New Zealand. The studio kept it very quiet because at the time, we had passed Baywatch as the most watched TV show in the world, and they wanted to keep that thing going. So they kept it quiet. On one hand, I'm grateful that they did because it hopefully gave me some kind of hope and self-esteem that I was going to get better again. And it took 3 full years to feel normal again, but they covered those last 2 years with a lot of other actors coming in, and I just worked limited hours. I went from a 14-hour workday down to 1, and worked up to 2, then 3, and by the end of the second year of the strokes, which was season 7 of Hercules, I was back at about 8 or 9 hours a day. But we kept it quiet, and I think being in New Zealand helped keep that quiet as well.
What was the recovery process like from these strokes? And do you think the copious amounts of working out and the hours you went through and everything, do you think that led to it at all?
Oh, no, there's no doubt. I mean, I think the stress of the show, and when I say stress, people think that you're not enjoying what you're doing. I loved what I was doing. Don't get me wrong. I loved being on set, but I think, you can't survive. I was going 5 straight years of 4 to 4.5 hours of sleep a night, which is ridiculous. And I was just running on fumes constantly, but I was into it. I loved being on the show. We had a blast on the set. I had so many laughs. I have so many dear friends and great memories. And I think all the years of heavy lifting weights, because I was lifting since I was in high school. So, you're looking at 20 years of lifting heavy. I was in my 30s. And I think that all just caught up to me. And, my body just needed it was just telling me I needed to slow down. I had to slow down the process because, I was killing myself, and I was totally unaware of it.
Now, let me ask you this: how did you go from so you have these strokes, and I mean, a couple months later you get married. What led you to go from you were in a position where you almost died, and then you decided, I'm gonna get married. I'm gonna keep moving on with life.
Well, the wedding had been set a year, 8 months earlier. We had set the date for 1 year from the time I proposed, and so we were 8 months into the proposal when I had the strokes, and initially I was going to call it the wedding because I was not doing well. Even 4 months later, I was still doing pretty bad, and the neurologist that I was seeing said, "Don't put your life on hold," which I thought was a great sentence that's always stayed with me, and I say to other people, don't put your life on hold. We talk about doing things and traveling and doing this and doing that, and we all do it next year, and pretty soon 20 years goes by. So I thought that was great advice, and my wife stuck by my side. I mean, it was amazing. Before we get married, before she said for better or worse, she got the worst part right away. So she stuck by my side, and, we just, she was there to push me. And I got to get back to the title of the book, True Strength. For me, they came in two different places. Number one, it was sort of making fun of the phony strength I had in Hercules, because that wasn't true strength. That was a bunch of stunt guys making me look pretty darn good. And the true strength really comes from finding the true strength within yourself. And you're right about this book. It's a book about triumph over tragedy. It's a book about motivation. It's a book about pushing past what other people do and setting limitations on you. Because everybody sets limitations on us, family, friends, doctors. Whenever you hit that road that we're all going to hit one day, you don't know when it's going to happen. How are you going to deal with that? How are you going to deal with an illness, a car crash? Word you have cancer? Word that you had you have a heart attack? You've got strokes? Whatever it is. And it's been amazing on the road, doing these book signings and readings and going to neurological institutions and meeting all these people that have gone through all these different sort of diseases and illnesses, and that they come up crying to me, saying that the book has motivated them to push past what they thought they were able to do. And it really comes down to finding your own true strength.